Kentucky's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against the governor over his recent education cuts. We're live in Frankfort with the breaking details.
We've learned new information in the case of a babysitter accused of abusing a 4-month-old girl. We'll have the latest on the case coming up.
The UK Police Department is launching a new campaign to keep drivers safe after recent accidents on campus involving mopeds and student athletes.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Saying the governor overstepped his authority, Attorney General Andy Beshear has filed a lawsuit today against Governor Matt Bevin.
Earlier this month, Beshear said the governor's order to cut current year budgets at state colleges and universities was illegal, and today he followed through with his threat of litigation. WKYT's Victor Puente is tracking the breaking details live at the state capitol in Frankfort. Victor?
The fight over these cuts will now take place in front of a Franklin County judge. Both the governor and Attorney General have said they're ready to go to court. Attorney General Andy Beshear announced he's filed suit in Franklin County Circuit Court challenging Governor Matt Bevin's cuts to funding for state universities during the current fiscal year. He says the move was illegal because the only time the governor can cut funding to a budget that's been signed into law is if there's a shortfall. He says Bevin has cut funding in a similar manner for the road plan, and in that case cited a projected shortfall. He said the move set a precedent that would make it possible for the governor to cut funding to other agencies if he wanted.
Folks, that's the type of absolute power that the U.S. Constitution, the Kentucky Constitution, and our laws explicitly forbid. It is a direct challenge to our liberty and our way of life, and it's my job to stand up to anyone who claims to have that power.
Governor Bevin's office responded saying, quote, "As best we can make sense of his rambling press conference, we strongly disagree with the Attorney General and will respond as necessary in court. Given the amount of alleged corruption and personnel problems in the office of Attorney General and his father's administration, it is clear that he's attempting to deflect attention away from his own challenges." Now, the case has its first appearance in court Thursday morning. Live in Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
7 university presidents have signed a letter saying they could accept the cuts if they are determined by the courts to be permissible. The lawsuit against the governor comes as he continues to urge lawmakers to reach a budget deal. This afternoon, lawmakers pushed back the end of the regular session to Friday. Originally, tomorrow was scheduled to be the last day lawmakers would meet, but both sides will now use the rest of the week to iron out their differences in the Budget Committee. House Speaker Greg Stumbo says he believes they can come to an agreement over the next couple of days and avoid a special session.
And that's our goal. That was the whole purpose of our conversation last night. It doesn't make any sense to spend a couple extra days and try to accomplish this as opposed to coming back in a 10 or 12 or 15-day special session.
Senate President Robert Stiver said he was reluctant to delay the session but agreed to the move after talking with House leadership to discuss what the schedule would look like.
It's been another cool, rainy day across much of the bluegrass, but changes are coming. WKYT's chief meteorologist Chris Bailey joins us with an early look at that forecast. Chris?
Yeah, a little rainy out there in parts of the area, but overall temperatures way above where we have been over the past several days. We look outside right now, and we are seeing clouds across the region, upper 60s. That's a little above normal. 67 degrees, 51% humidity. The winds, though, big players today. We've had those gusts greater than 30 miles an hour. I know you're thinking, what else is new there? One of the windier springs you will ever find across Kentucky. What else are we finding across Kentucky? Defender radar network with showers that have been especially prominent in the northern and western parts of the area. Lexington, we've dodged a lot of this stuff so far this afternoon. Watching some showers and storms beginning to crank again. Louisville back toward Elizabethtown and to the northwest of the Bowling Green area. That is along the cold front that is on the move toward the southeast. That future radar dealing with an increase in some showers and storms middle and latter part of the evening across central and eastern Kentucky. But look how quickly that stuff begins to fade away. 70s across much of the area this afternoon. Mid-70s to the east, though it is cooler into the west, only 50 into Owensboro. That's the air we get in on as we go into your Tuesday. Hour by hour forecast will track a brief cool down and then a big mild up. That's just ahead.
Chris, thank you. A Jessamine County babysitter accused of abusing an infant went before a judge this afternoon. Nicholasville police say Erin Thompson was caring for a 4-month-old at her home when the child was injured. The baby continues to recover at Kentucky Children's Hospital.
But court documents today revealed this is not the first time the child was injured while in Thompson's care. Our Sean Moody has more on what happened in court.
When Erin Thompson returns to court here in Jessamine County next week, she'll have a new attorney. That's what they worked out in the courtroom today. We also learned some new information from court documents today. Thompson is charged with criminal abuse. Investigators believe she injured a 4-month-old girl named Kylie, who she was babysitting. According to a report in the court documents, a doctor at UK Hospital said, quote, this was not a roll-off-a-couch type injury, that this was a major car accident type of injury, end quote. According to that report, the girl's mother told police the girl was fine when she dropped her off with Thompson on the morning of April 5th, but a few hours later she said Thompson called her and said she thought Kylie was choking. She said she told Thompson to call 911. A doctor at UK Hospital told investigators Kylie was suffering from fractures to her skull and swelling on the left side of her brain. She said it appeared to be from multiple blunt force trauma. Kylie's been in the hospital ever since. Her aunt, Lauren Sizemore, said she's got a long road ahead of her.
Is a big, strong possibility that she'll come out of this with some sort of disability for the rest of her life.
Ever since Kylie's been in the hospital, the community has been supporting the family. An online fundraiser has reached more than $11,000. It's just amazing to see that everybody has just got their hearts out for Kylie and supporting her in every way. And my brother and my sister-in-law, it's great to see that. Now, we reached out to Thompson at the Jessamine County Detention Center to get her side of this story, but she declined our interview request. In Jessamine County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And according to those court records, Kylie's parents told police they had noticed some bruising and confronted Thompson about it, but said Thompson told them she didn't know how they got there. Police are still searching for suspects after a weekend murder near the UK campus. 2 people were standing outside the Woodland Studio apartments on Saturday morning when police say both of the men were shot. The Fayette County coroner says 28-year-old James Gordon later died. The other victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police only released a limited description of the suspect.
Jury selection is underway in the trial against a man accused of killing 5 members of a Leslie County family. Police say Clayton Jackson killed Chris and Amanda Sturgill in 2004 and then set their home on fire to cover the crime. The Sturgills' 3 young children died in the fire. A jury convicted Jackson of killing the children in 2011 but could not reach a verdict in the parents' murders. The state Supreme Court then threw out his conviction and ordered a new trial after learning a juror was a friend of the victim's brother. The new trial is taking place in Clay County. And in Martin County, the Public Service Commission has opened an investigation against the water district. Officials say it's due to high water loss, lack of performance of routine maintenance and testing. This marks the 3rd action by the PSC since 2002 against the water district. In recent years, the district has lost up to 60% of its water, 4 times more than normally permitted by state regulations.
After a recent moped accident involving 2 UK athletes, UK's police department is launching a campaign today to make moped drivers aware of Kentucky laws. Michelle Chamberlain has more.
That accident, according to UK Police Chief Joe Monroe, was due to the fact that 2 people were on the moped at the time, which is against Kentucky state law. The accident has launched a moped education and enforcement campaign on campus. Police want moped drivers to know they are to follow the same rules as someone riding a motorcycle. Now, these state laws are not new, but police want to educate and let you know they'll be cracking down and enforcing these laws. Laws such as moped users not riding on sidewalks or in bike paths.
They're weaving in and out of people during class changes. So that's causing a safety hazard for us.
Also, it is not legal to have multiple riders on a moped.
So that's the problem that we're really trying to attack, is to get people to understand those laws. So the first couple weeks, we're going to issue warnings and educational material. After that, we'll step up enforcement as needed with citations.
Moped users are also asked to park in a motorcycle space, not at a bike rack. The gas in the tank of a moped makes it a fire hazard for nearby buildings. And because moped drivers cannot park their mopeds at bicycle racks, they will need a parking pass to park in a motorcycle space here on campus. In Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
By the way, the cost of a parking pass for a moped was $120 for the school year. The price for next year has not yet been determined. Ted Cruz's victory at last weekend's Colorado Republican State Convention is already in the distant past as the candidates from both parties focus on the delegate-rich states ahead.
One of the biggest prizes is New York, where 3 of the 5 presidential candidates are claiming home turf. CBS's Jamie Yukas has the latest from Port Washington, New York.
We're supposed to be a democracy.
Donald Trump is warning the Republican Party not to play games with delegates. He said voters won't tolerate the nomination being given to someone who didn't win the most votes.
You're going to have a big problem, folks, because there are people that don't like what's going on.
Trump is battling for 95 delegates in his home state of New York ahead of next Tuesday's primary. His rival, Ted Cruz, is focusing on the June primary in California and its 172 delegates.
And just like in 1980, it's going to be California that's going to decide, California that's going to lead the way.
John Kasich worked on courting voters in upstate New York.
You got to go out and hunt delegates. That's part of what this is about.
Polls show Hillary Clinton leading Bernie Sanders in New York. She held an afternoon appearance here on Long Island to speak out about gun violence.
If anything else were killing 33,000 people a year, we would be mobilized.
In Binghamton, Sanders criticized Clinton's record on the environment and her early support of the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal.
Hillary Clinton did not lead the opposition. She came on board at the very end of the process.
Sanders has a rally scheduled for tonight at the University of Buffalo. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Port Washington, New York.
2 people who won't be voting for Donald Trump in New York are his own children. Trump told Fox News that his son Eric and daughter Ivanka failed to register in time.
3 people died in a boating accident off the Florida coast over the weekend, but a 4th person survived. Robert Stewart was found alive on the beach south of St. Lucie Inlet. A Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputy, his 9-year-old son, and another man all died after their boat capsized on Sunday. The sheriff says Stewart survived by clinging to the boat overnight.
Since that time, we have recovered 3 bodies, and we have 1 survivor. The survivor relates to us that he clung to the boat throughout the night and finally came ashore this morning. The boat has now been recovered, and the 1 survivor is at Martin Memorial Hospital in good condition, not life-threatening at all. The family has been notified. What we have, some of the family members are now at Martin Memorial Hospital.
And the Martin County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate what happened.
Goldman Sachs has finalized a $5.1 billion settlement over its role in the subprime mortgage crisis. The company is the last of the big American banks to reach a settlement with the group who set up the investigation back in 2012. Sachs was accused of buying loans of poor quality and selling them to investors. Some foreign banks are still under investigation. It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. When you travel, it's easy to go off your diet, especially while you're at the airport. In today's Health Minute, Tamara Melton has some healthy snacking tips the next time you travel.
When you're traveling, it can be really hard to eat healthily, especially when you're really busy and you don't have time to sit down and eat. Try to pack some healthy snacks, and you probably have a lot of these items already in your pantry at home. Trail mix, nuts, granola bars, these are all really healthy items that you can take along with you. You don't have to refrigerate them, and they'll last your whole trip. In the morning, if you're trying to get out the door, you can get plain oatmeal packets, have them in your room, use the hot water from your coffee pot. You can go down to the front desk of the lobby, ask them if they have a bowl and maybe some utensils. Sometimes when you're traveling, you forget to have enough fruits and vegetables, or it's just unavailable. So take some with you. You can take fruits that have hard skins on the outside, like apples, oranges, bananas. These all travel really well. You can throw them in your carry-on bag, you can throw them in your suitcase, and they're a snack that you can have when you get to your destination. So take an empty water bottle with you, get it past security, and there's often filling stations now in airports that you can fill up with filtered water, and you'll be able to stay hydrated, and you can avoid paying those really high prices for bottled water at the magazine stand. Hopefully you can use some of these tips on your next trip. I'm Tamara Melton.
A new study out today claims the Zika virus may be more dangerous than scientists first thought. The study linked Zika to an autoimmune condition in adults with similar symptoms as multiple sclerosis. Researchers say patients reported neurological problems, including trouble with motor skills, vision, and memory. Zika has already been linked to the fetal brain disorder microcephaly and temporary paralysis. If you have still not filed your taxes this year, you are running out of time. The deadline to file a tax return or request an extension is just a week away. Paperwork must be submitted by April 18th to avoid a penalty. The deadline normally falls on April 15th, but a newly legal holiday in Washington pushed it back. If you're filing at home, experts recommend downloading antivirus software to prevent any identity theft. Despite customer outcry, Starbucks is gearing up to launch its new rewards program tomorrow. My Starbucks Rewards will now be Starbucks Rewards. The new system is based on how much money customers spend in the coffee shops, not how often they make purchases. Starbucks announced the change in late February, but it didn't sit well with some customers. Many complained it will take them longer to earn rewards.